So welcome. We're going to talk about this plant-based vegetarian and vegan yogic diet today. And I'm going to start by sharing that I've never eaten meat, chicken, or fish in my life, or even tried it, because I was raised vegetarian, and now I'm about 8 years mostly vegan because of the yogic diet. My father was practicing yoga before I was born and learned from the yogis and the great gurus and teachers from India that they found the optimal diet for human health and for a peaceful mind and meditation, and to be in alignment with the principles of compassion, non-violence, called ahimsa in Sanskrit, is to not kill animals to eat. So I've never eaten them myself, including fish, chicken, never even tried it, and I'm 46. You absolutely don't need to eat animal products to have a healthy body. In fact, they've done studies and studies again and again, including a cardiology research study I've been teaching for that was proven that you can perhaps prevent, or he proved you can even reverse heart disease with a vegetarian or vegan diet, as well as other factors like exercise and stress management. So what I want to discuss today is why the yogic diet, vegetarian or vegan, didn't include animals. Well, first thing, animals are living beings, just like us. They have parents, they have children, they have families. If you go to pull a fish out of water, it squirms. If you try to chase and grab an animal out in the wild, or even your dog and cat, it's going to squirm. Just like humans, animals don't want to have pain. Animals don't want to die. Animals don't want to be killed for food, just like us. So the yogis don't want to take lives of other living beings. Why harm other living beings? Also, the yogis don't want to eat food that's dead. And I say the yogis, that's modern day now. That's me and other people following this diet, perhaps, who are also practicing yoga. But foods that are dead, if you kill an animal, it's a dead food, versus plant foods, right? So plants are life energy, full of prana. There's a great quote I love from Dharma Mitra, who's an 81-year-old vegan yoga master in New York City. He says, if you eat food that's dead and fried, you'll feel dead and fried. And I love that. I mean, it makes so much sense, right? If we're eating food that literally is dead flesh, the energy is dead. In Sanskrit, it's called tamas, T-A-M-A-S. I'll check that in, is dulling, dead energy, versus sattvic is this Ayurvedic Sanskrit word for pure or harmonious. Plant-based eating, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, beans is sattvic. Meat and animals and dairy is tamas. It's dead energy. It's dulling. If you're finding yourself tired a lot, or low energy, not motivated, can't focus in meditation, your yoga, or you're not motivated, or you're depleted to exercise, it may not necessarily be that you're not getting enough nutrients. Maybe you're getting the flesh of dead animal. I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's true, and it's depleting you, and it's a lot of extra energy to digest. So if you've never tried it, try a day or two. Eat fresh plant-based fruits and salads and whole grains, and see how you feel on the days you do that versus the days you're eating heavy animal products, dairies, and meats. See how your meditation feels the day or day after you eat plant-based, vegetarian, and vegan versus when you're eating animals. There's an energy to it. These animals are living beings. So there's an energy and a karma and a cycle that you're putting that dead energy in your body, versus more in harmony with the earth and sustainable with the earth, and not harming beings when you eat, is more in alignment. So when you meditate, the yogis also did this diet to have a peaceful mind. They didn't want to fall asleep and be dull in meditation. They didn't want to harm living beings. They wanted yoga, union, harmony, connection. And don't we want that too? Compassion, harmony, not killing others, peaceful in the mind, healthy in the body, less inflammation in the joints. Heart disease and cancers are so often associated with animal products. They've done so many studies that people who don't eat the animal products have less likelihood, or sometimes next to none, compared to those who are eating them, for heart disease and cancers and certain diseases. So it's a win-win for everyone. Helps your human health, helps the mind feel more peace in meditation, perhaps. and helps the earth. Now, everyone has their opinion. I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not judging you. I'm just sharing the yogic perspective on why we don't eat animals, why we want a whole food, plant-based, nutritious diet, not just not eating animals, but nutritious, healthy food. So let us try a few-minute reflection on it. Maybe you're not even interested in the vegan or vegetarian aspect, but let's just go over our eating habits and how it affects us. So let's close your eyes for a moment. Take a few slow breaths. Just sit tall where you are. If you're on a cushion, you can sit cross-legged or in a chair. And just first feel your body. Are you hungry? Are you full? How do you feel with your body, your weight, your energy level, anything you're noticing now? Different times of day, depending where you are in the world, that can affect your energy level, how much sleep we get, or stress level. And then just check in. Have you had any goals in the last, few weeks or month about your eating habits or your health or your weight? Maybe it's to meditate every day or to exercise more. Bring that to your awareness. And then lastly, just check in. How is your eating habits affecting your exercise or wanting to exercise or your meditation? So basically meaning like sometimes you want to get up in the morning and meditate, but you're tired. And then reflect. Was that because you had heavy dairies or sugars the night before? Now, if you're not sure because of what this does, you have to experiment. Like I grew up vegetarian eating dairy. When I realized that they were killing the baby sweet cows and day-year-old male chicks, grinding them alive because they're not going to produce eggs or milk, that they definitely kill the animals in the dairy industry just as horrifically, not to mention they're held captive in factory farms, but just the same as the meat industry, then I didn't want to cause a violence, so that's why I was vegetarian. So that's when I stopped the eggs and the dairies. Because there's so many vegan substitutes, coconut, yogurt, soy milk, all kinds of plant-based now. When I stopped that, I started noticing I was less tired. It takes more energy, it seems, to digest. So many people say they're lactose intolerant. We're not supposed to be drinking other animals' milk. It doesn't make sense. We drink our mother's milk when we're babies and then you wean off it. So why would you then continue to drink cow's milk, right? But I understand the yogic diet did have milk and dairy, and they still do in India, some, and all over. But a lot of yogis now are realizing these animals are dying, the way they're raised. 99% of animals in USA are held in factory farms, including chickens and cows, to make dairy and meat. So they're held in horrific, brutal conditions, right? And often fed with antibiotics and other things not even good for the health, ethics aside. So that's why a lot of yogis are, not a lot, but some are transitioning to the diet for yogic ahimsa, nonviolence, to include vegan, not dairy. But traditionally in the yogic diet was dairy, to be clear. And I'm not telling you what to do again, but on the health level, they've actually done studies that like some breast cancers and others they think can be reduced from not eating dairy. So again, but you need to experiment for yourself. Like if you eat a heavy dairy meal at night, right? Or meat and dairy. See how you feel the next morning if you want to meditate, or even that day. Play around with it. It's hard to shift. I know our eating habits. It's not an easy journey for all of us. We have stress eating, emotional eating, cravings, habits, people around us, families eating certain foods. So I suggest like they do a meatless Monday. Try like one day a week, very healthy plant-based yogic diet, and see how you feel that day meditating or the next day. So play around, you're your own experiment. But that was just a brief reflection. You can do meditations like that every day. You check in with your body, see how you feel. Do you feel in alignment with what you want for your health goals, your weight goals? If there's joint or pain inflammation in the body, yeah, exercise and yoga can help, but often it's what we eat. A lot of sugars, processed foods. Sometimes some heart disease patients I've taught said when they stopped the dairy and the meat, their hip pain went away and their joint pain went away. So play around for yourself. For me, it's a win-win-win, helping the animals, helping the earth, helping my body, and helping my mind. It's not even a question for me. It's win-win for everyone. So I hope that was helpful. Just a little 10-minute chat and talk about the benefits of yogic diet, vegan or vegetarian, plant-based diet. And I'm happy to answer questions if anyone has. We just do our best every day. We don't have to be perfect eaters. If you have a bad day not eating in your optimal goal diet, then it's more an average what you eat. So don't let saying, oh man, I had one bad day, I can't do this. I'm so used to these foods that aren't good for me. Just substitute it with better foods and do your best the next day. It's just habit, and you have to build momentum, just like meditating, right? Or just like yoga, you have to build momentum. It's discipline. So the more healthy vegetables and fruits you eat, the better maybe digestion, and the better your skin glows, and the better you feel. And then you'll want to keep doing that. But if you're on a cycle eating a lot of junk foods, I don't eat meat or dairy, but if you're eating a lot of that or sugar or processed, you tend to keep wanting that. It's like a bad cycle, right? You want it, you get quick energy, then you drop, and the energy lowers, you want more. Shift to smoothies if you need, or healthier, fresh whole foods, and see how you feel. Get those sugars from the fruits instead of the processed candy, right? Get energy from some fresh greens and prana from that, not from the sodas, Try to, basically like a yogic verse says in Sanskrit, prakti paksha bhavana. The way to counteract a negative thought is to change it with a positive. So I share that in the eating is the way to have healthier eating habits or more harmonious with the animals is to substitute it for positive, one meal at a time, one shopping trip at a time. What we buy in our house is what we eat as well. So do your best to buy foods you want to eat. If you buy foods that you know are not healthy for you or you want, and they're sitting in the house, you're going to probably want them. So do also change your shopping trips. If you can keep the food in the house that's better for you, you're less likely to run out to get the not good stuff. So I do hope that helped.